Well, I would say the fine arts for St. Croix is an important piece, not only because of the importance of historically with music for a church body, but I think if you look at research especially, it really focuses in on the importance of music and fine arts with development of the brain. It really focuses on the development of the creativity side of the brain, or the creative side of the brain, which then complements the academic side of the brain. And as you look at where the world is changing when it comes to computers and automation and things like that, the one thing that can never be replicated is creativity. I think the jazz band, there's absolutely no doubt that when that music is played, there's a different level of energy that comes with it. As you're really recruiting students at varying different ages to become engaged in music and interested in music, you have to be able to engage them. And obviously the rhythm, the pace, the songs, and all those pieces go into that level of engagement. But I think using the jazz band in a very purposeful way to be able to share that energy and excitement with our elementary schools that are in our association, I think that's a tremendous opportunity.
So, what is jazz all about at St. Croix Lutheran Academy?
Playing some different style of music that concert band can't have, or can have, but in a different way, more specific to jazz. You're playing a different style of music. You're not playing classical. You're not playing, your Holst. You're playing your Louis Armstrong. Names are Dizzy Gillespie. All those fun jazz music, and doing it in a different. And it's not as strict. I mean, yeah, you still have to play the right notes, the right rhythms, but it's not as strict, and you can kind of have a little fun, especially with the trumpet player. When you're a lead trumpet player, you can kind of scream on some of those notes, and I always love playing lead trumpet. So jazz, in a way, it's just been a fun, different style, more relaxed style for me. Something that you can kind of tap your foot along and get going, and playing different style of music was a lot of fun for me throughout. Since I've been a freshman in high school.
I would say that the Oakdale Avenue Jazz Band started as early as probably 30 years ago. Now I don't know when it was named Oakdale Avenue Jazz Band, probably at the time when we moved from Crusader Avenue to here and moved on to Oakdale Avenue. That seems to make some logical sense.
When I first got here, there really wasn't much of a jazz program in the past. They've had ones in previous years, but nothing that was really structured and organized. And my first year here, I remember it was hard to get people to start with it. You kind of had to do some recruiting and get them to say, hey, try out this new jazz. They knew what jazz was, but not necessarily what a jazz band really consisted of. From my understanding, it started up many years ago, and then it kind of, I don't want to say went away, but it was in different lights of how it was portrayed. But then in 2013, when I came here, I was like, if you could start it up, that would be great. And so I said, I'll do my best, and I think what has come of it has been very, very awesome to see.
I'll be honest, there's a period of time when the jazz band didn't exist. And a lot of that had to do with when I first came here, Mr. Pufall took over the band and the choral at the same time. And he tried to keep everything going the way it was. And that was humanly almost impossible because something had to go. You just couldn't do it all. And so there was a period of time, maybe 3-4 years, where it just faded away because other things, he had to prioritize how things were going to be done. And when Mr. Pufall came in, and I would say during that time, we actually saw a rise in our chapel band a little bit. So that kind of filled the void a little bit. But then when Mr. Fenske came and they divided up choral and band more, Mr. Fenske had a love for jazz, and he had a connection with WLC, and all those different pieces started that catalyst to where all of a sudden, I believe in year 1 that he was here, it was a small core group, but then the next year, all of a sudden we had a bigger group, and I think he even had some junior jazz people, and now to the point where he doesn't necessarily have time for the junior jazz. That's kind of become more the middle school thing, but now he has where it's tryouts and people who are truly committed. And when you have that level of commitment, that's only going to continue to foster some of those things.
I started jazz, playing jazz, when I was a freshman in high school, in the high school jazz ensemble, with my dad, obviously, as the band director. And I just really enjoyed that type of style. In my high school, it was just a very fun, relaxed. We had our practices in the evening, and I just remember always enjoying to go to those practices, looking forward to it. Was Wednesday nights. It was like looking forward to those. It was an hour and a half practice that when we had it. Just looking forward to it. We had a lot of fun. It was much more relaxed than the concert band setting. And same in college. When I got the call here, I really did not know much about St. Croix. I know some of the directors in the past, and I came here 4 or 5 years ago, but again, it was just for a tour that I was in. But so like before my time, I actually do not know what the group sounded like or anything. That's why I can't really speak to that. I went to one concert when I accepted the call, and that was the one before. But I don't recall there being a jazz band concert.
Why would we work so hard to keep a jazz band going?
I know Mr. Pufall shared with me that it was an opportunity for students who preferred a different type of genre of music or wanted a little bit more up-tempo kind of music. It gave them a little bit broader opportunity to be able to play and to be able to different rhythms and all those kinds of things. So it was just another opportunity for students to use the gifts and talents that they had in just a very different way.
I think what it can bring to the students is certainly a different style and a different setting of music that can't be that is not always focused on in the concert band setting. And then it also can, when you listen to our concerts, they know it's going to be a different style of music when the jazz goes up to the stage, and they know it's going to be kind of like your swing band or whatever type, big band or even rock type of music which we played in the past, and it brings that different style than a traditional concert band can bring, and then it gives those students an opportunity to play and learn that style, and learn how to play in that style a little bit better than they would from just playing in a concert band. So it gives them more opportunity to play different styles of music and focus more on a style that isn't, it's popular but not as popular when it comes to playing the trumpet, playing the saxophone or trombone or percussion. Kind of can focus in on that era and style of music. People then I don't think knew what to expect, and from the reactions that I got from that concert. So that would have been 2013 Christmas concert, and we played "Go Tell It on the Mountain," and I just remember how the reaction of it blew my mind. The reaction of that, and I think I just remember having a conversation with Ethan Marshall afterwards, after the concert, and he said, "That was awesome. It was so fun to play with it, and I can't wait to go to Jazz Fest in 3 weeks." So that was the first time we ever went to Jazz Fest.
With choir director Mr. Pufall leaving to take a call in Milwaukee, there's some unsurety about the future. There is one thing we know, however: jazz is here to stay.
There is no plan to go back to just one person. There just is no plan to do that. Even if we have to fit things together for a year and bring somebody in an emergency situation, there's no plan to just do one person and survive. So that's one piece to that. The other thing is there is no way that you can fill a role with somebody else, but you never replace a person. So Mr. Pufall being here for 16 years, there's no way to replace Mr. Pufall. You can have someone else fill that role, and they will fill it, and they will put their own fingerprints on it, and they'll take it in a slightly different direction. It's the way it always happens. Music is important to us, and as the world around us is looking to make cuts in fine arts and to minimize it, I think St. Croix has put their foot in the ground and said, no, this is going to be a foundational thing for us for the rest of our existence. So I think the jazz band is a huge part of that because it does bring the energy, it does provide opportunities for students with those gifts to continue to grow and develop. And I think ultimately, whether you're doing a Christian jazz song or a secular jazz song, doesn't really matter. Those are gifts and talents that the Lord's given to individuals. And no matter what we do, the way we do it is an opportunity to glorify God.